Have you ever heard a ghost story so chilling, so unsettling, that it stays with you long after you've heard it? Japan is home to countless such tales, but few are as famous and as terrifying as the story of Okiku and the 9 plates. This isn't just a simple ghost story. It's a legend that has echoed through centuries, a tale of betrayal, sorrow, and a vengeful spirit whose voice is said to still be heard from the bottom of a well. Today, we're going to journey into the heart of this dark legend. We'll explore its origins, unravel its different versions, and visit the real-life location said to be haunted by Okiku herself. So turn down the lights, get comfortable, and prepare to hear a story that might just make you check over your shoulder. And if you're a fan of folklore, mysteries, and things that go bump in the night, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss what's coming. The most famous version of this tale takes us to Himeji Castle, one of Japan's most magnificent and iconic landmarks. But beneath its beautiful white facade lies a much darker story. The legend centers around a beautiful servant named Okiku. She worked for a high-ranking samurai named Aoyama Tasan. Now, Aoyama was a man of ambition and cruelty. He had his eyes set on overthrowing his lord and taking power for himself. But Okiku, ever loyal, overheard his treacherous plans. She knew she had to warn her master. In some versions of the story, Aoyama had a different kind of obsession with Okiku. He was infatuated with her beauty and relentlessly pursued her, but she, being a virtuous woman, repeatedly rejected his advances. This only fueled his frustration and anger. To force her hand, Aoyama devised a cruel and clever trap. The family he served had a precious heirloom, a set of 10 expensive, intricately designed Dutch plates. These weren't just dishes. They were a symbol of the family's wealth and status. Aoyama knew how much they were valued. One day, he hid one of the 10 plates. Then, he called for Okiku, and with feigned panic, ordered her to bring him the set. Okiku, unsuspecting, went to fetch them. When she presented the plates, Aoyama flew into a rage, demanding to know where the 10th plate was. Okiku was terrified. She counted them again and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th was gone. She frantically searched the entire mansion, her heart pounding with fear. She knew that losing such a valuable item was a crime punishable by death. This was the moment Aoyama had been waiting for. He cornered the desperate Okiku and made her an ultimatum. He told her that if she agreed to become his mistress, he would forgive her and pretend the plate was found. But if she refused, he would tell their master that she had stolen it, ensuring her execution. Trapped and horrified, Okiku still refused to submit to his blackmail and betray her own principles. Enraged by her final rejection, Aoyama's cruelty knew no bounds. He had his retainers torture her, but still, she would not yield. Finally, in a fit of pure fury, Aoyama struck her down with his sword and had her lifeless body thrown into an old well in the castle grounds. He thought that was the end of it. He was wrong. Soon after, a strange and eerie phenomenon began to haunt Himeji Castle. Every night, from the depths of that old well, a mournful, ghostly voice would rise. It was the voice of Okiku. It would slowly and deliberately count the plates. Ichimai, nai, sanmai, 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates. The voice would continue, chilling the bones of anyone who heard it, all the way up to 9. Kumai, 9 plates. After counting to 9, a blood-curdling, agonizing shriek would erupt from the well, echoing throughout the castle grounds. The sound was so filled with despair and anger that it drove those who heard it to madness. Aoyama himself was tormented nightly by the ghost of the woman he had murdered. The constant reminder of his crime, the nightly count, and the final scream eventually drove him insane. The curse of Okiku had found its mark. The well at Himeji Castle, known as Okiku Ido or Okiku's Well, is still there today. It's a popular spot for tourists, many of whom come specifically to feel the chilling atmosphere of the legend. People stand by its stone rim, peering into the dark depths, half expecting to hear a faint voice begin its sorrowful count. It's a powerful testament to how a story can become physically tied to a place, turning a simple stone well into a monument of tragedy and terror. But what's fascinating is that the story of Okiku isn't confined to just Himeji Castle. There's another, equally popular version of the legend set in Tokyo, in a neighborhood that was once called Banshu. This version is known as the Bansho Seraya Shiki, or the Plate Mansion of Bansho. The core elements are similar: a servant girl named Okiku, a set of 10 precious plates, and a cruel master. In this telling, Okiku accidentally breaks one of the plates. Knowing the punishment for such carelessness would be severe, she confesses to her master. Her master, just like Aoyama, had made advances towards her which she had refused. Seeing his chance for revenge, he flew into a rage, not just at the loss of the plate, but at the rejection of his pride. He had her punished, and her body was thrown into a well. And just like in the Himeji story, her ghost rose from the well every night to count the plates, her wail of sorrow echoing after she reached the number 9. What makes this story so enduring? It's a classic tale of the powerless seeking justice from beyond the grave. Okiku represents innocence and loyalty, while her master represents corruption and abuse of power. Her ghostly return isn't just about haunting. It's about forcing the living to confront an injustice. Her endless counting isn't just a spooky quirk. It's a manifestation of her obsessive search for the missing plate, for the moment her life went wrong, for the justice she never received in life. The story became so ingrained in Japanese culture that it was adapted into countless kabuki and banraku puppet plays. These theatrical versions amplified the drama and horror, solidifying Okiku's place as one of Japan's 3 great ghosts, alongside Oiwa from Yotsuya Kaiden and Otsuyu from Baten Door. Each play added its own little twist. In some versions, a brave hero or a monk confronts the ghost. Upon hearing her count to 9, they would shout, 10, from the top of the well, finally completing the set and allowing her spirit to find peace. The legend of Okiku even inspired the modern horror genre. If the image of a ghostly figure with long black hair climbing out of a well sounds familiar, it should. The iconic 1998 horror film Ringu, or The Ring, drew heavy inspiration from the story of Okiku. The character of Sadako, the vengeful ghost who emerges from a well to haunt her victims, is a direct descendant of Okiku. It is a powerful example of how a centuries-old folktale can be reimagined to terrify a whole new generation, a whole new global audience. So, is the story of Okiku true? Like most legends, it's a blend of history, folklore, and moral lesson. There is no concrete historical proof of the servant named Okiku being murdered over a plate at Himeji Castle. However, the story reflects the very real and harsh class structures of feudal Japan, where the life of a servant could be forfeit at the whim of their master. It is a cautionary tale about cruelty and the belief that evil deeds will eventually come back to haunt you, quite literally. Whether you visit Himeji Castle and see the well for yourself, or watch a modern horror movie, the ghost of Okiku is a reminder of the power of storytelling. She is a voice for the wronged, a chilling whisper from the past that continues to fascinate and terrify us. Her story has been told and retold for over 300 years, and it shows no signs of fading away. The next time you hear an unexplained noise in the night, just hope it's not someone starting a slow, deliberate count to 9. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of Japan's most terrifying legends. What do you think? Do you believe the well at Himeji is truly haunted? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story and want to explore more dark folklore and mysterious tales from around the world, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring more of these stories to light. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.